أقول سابقا، وقد يوافقني العديد الكم الكبير من أساتذتي الإعلاميين الكبار، أن قناة الجزيرة هي الصوت العربي الأول بامتياز بكل ما لها وما عليها، حتى يعني أكون منصف ويعني محايد بشفافية، ولا تقارن مع القنوات الأخرى مع الإجلال والاحترام الكبير. أنا كان لي تجربة مع قناة الجزيرة وكان لي تجربة مع قناة الحرة. أما في الجزيرة فقلت ما أريد، سواء وافقني من وافقني وعاداني من عاداني، قلت ما أريد بالاتجاه المعاكس بكل بساطة وسلاسة. أما في قناة الحرة فقد دعيت إلى قناة الحرة وكان لي تجربة سيئة مثلا، وطالما أن هناك من يدافع عن قناة الحرة فجيد أن نقول كان هناك فتوى تحريم قتل المسلمين وغير المسلمين من الأبرياء، وقد أتيت للقناة للتعليق على هذه الفتوى وقلت أنها صحيحة 100%، وهذه ليست فتوى، هذه قيمة من قيم الإسلام. الإسلام لا يوافق على القتل العشوائي تماما، ولكن طلبت منهم أن نحدد من هو البريء، ومن ثم بأقل من دقيقتين وهو مسجل ومحفوظ بالأرشيف ألغيت الحلقة ربما بأمر من الخارج. شكرا. إذن أنا في الجزيرة قلت ما أريد، ولكني بالحرة وقد قلت لهم ونحن في الحرة لنتكلم بحرية وشفافية، قال حتما، ولكن صوتي للأسف لم يسمع.
شكرا. سنتجه إلى الصف الثاني. أخت هنا رافعة يدها. نعم. We'll take 2 questions or so. Okay?
I will ask my question in English to Mr. Salah. You said that Al Jazeera English is successful. It's a good example and a good norm in the Arab world to be passed to the outside world. My question is, how many Arab personalities like David Frost did Al Jazeera English create? And thank you.
Can you repeat the question? I didn't hear.
I think on the first question we'll ask Jim. معلش Jim, I'll ask you if you have any response to the first gentleman, and we'll come to your question.
Okay.
I don't think that anyone. Look. I have a book coming out in the fall. This is a self-serving. This is another piece of promotion called Arab Voices, and I begin with a little story. Prince Khalid in Saudi Arabia, Khalid al-Faisal, one time was telling me that we need to tell our story. He said Arabs need to tell their story, but then he said, what story would we tell? Whose story would we tell? I concluded that we don't know our story because there is no one story, there is no one Arab voice. There are multiple voices and multiple stories, and they all need to be heard. So that if I were to be asked where to go to find the Arab voice, I would say go everywhere. Watch Egypt television and watch Saudi 1, 2, and 3. They might get boring, but they've got something to say. Watch NBC and Arabiya and Al Jazeera, of course, but also watch LBC, because there's a unique Arab quality to that as well, because it's also widely viewed for particular reasons, but it's a part of who we are. It's a part of the culture that we appreciate. And so the answer is that the voices are everywhere. Just like, you know, what network represents America? They all do. Fox represents a part of America, MSNBC represents part of America, and yes, the boasting self-promotionism of CNN, the best political team in politics, is also part of America. And so too is the banality of the evening news on the American networks. They're all a part of the voice of who we are. And I think that no one should have the pretension of saying it's the Arab voice or it's the Arab story, because all of those stories collectively represent the sense of who we are, and the sound that we make is a cacophony at times of many sounds, but that's what any culture represents. And I think we have to understand and appreciate and accept that. To the degree to which Al Jazeera has provided a forum, the Arabic Al Jazeera, for all of those many voices, it has been a success. And is to be appreciated for that. I think the question about the Al Jazeera English is that what many expected was that it would be not David Frost, but it would be those voices in English so that other audiences might share and hear and understand that.
Thank
the
you, Jim.
perception is that, but I don't think that it is, and I think that's what people find to some degree missing. Not that it would succeed in America, I don't think it would, but I think that it would at least be an available tool. And I think that to the degree that it's not, there's a sense of loss there.
30 seconds.
I would just like to add to that. I would like to warn for the dangers, actually, of expressing that one Arab voice, if it exists. Just as an example, Russia started with an English language TV station a couple of years ago called Russia Today. Now that is the voice, not of Russia, but of the Kremlin. What do you get? It doesn't have any credibility at all. So people don't, I'm sorry if there are colleagues of Russia Today here today. I don't watch it because I don't believe what they say. So expressing one voice actually hurts you more than it does good to the Arab cause.
Very briefly.
I want to make a quick. Hello. Yes. This is just a quick response to the question on how many David Frosts did Al Jazeera English create. I think one of the problems that the media, not just in the Arab world but beyond, actually suffer from is the cult of celebrity, and what that means and what that represents, and the role that individuals come to play when they possess so much power, both over the institution and over the masses. I think it would be incredibly healthy, and this is not a comment about Al Jazeera specifically, it would be very healthy given the new media revolution that the world is witnessing, and the rise of citizen journalism, and the rise of multipolar audience-created media, for us to rethink this cult of expertise, the cult of journalistic celebrity, and if there's a news institution that's able to create an egalitarian, level-headed broadcasting, that would be the way of the future, more so than one that can produce an O'Reilly and one that can produce a Wolf Blitzer and the Larry King and Faisal Al-Qasim and what have you, and Amr Adib, So maybe the cult of celebrity is something that we need to look beyond rather than look for.
شكرا. أخ صلاح، أي تعليق على موضوع ديفيد فروست؟
Making a celebrity is an industry. It has steps, known steps, and you can follow. What I'm more interested in, I think our viewers will be more interested in, is the content. If the content is honest, if it replies to their questions, if it shows them what is happening around them in the world in a different way, then that will be the success. It's not about creating David Frosts. A lot of channels, there are a lot of stars around you, but how much is the content that you can trust? That's one thing. And the second thing is, I think there are from the beginning, two different experiences we are talking about. It's the experience of Western broadcasters who are broadcasting in Arabic to the Arab world, and that's totally different mission. And Al Jazeera English, which is broadcasting in English to the rest of the world, English-speaking world, and it's a totally different mission than the first one.
شكرا أخ صلاح. بدأ الوقت يداهمنا، فرجاء الاختصار بشدة في طرح الأسئلة أو المشاركة بأي تعليقات، وسنبدأ بالأخ اللي موجود